Thank you. So I'm Kenneth England. I'm the chair of the theater department here, and I've had the great pleasure to direct the students in As You Like It. So before we get started, I have a couple of announcements in order to keep the whole experience for everybody pleasant and not distracting. So first off, please turn off all your cell phones and electronic devices. We don't. The noise is very distracting, and we don't want to distract patrons or the actors. Please no texting, because instead of when you text, even if your sound is turned off, there are little stars that appear in the audience, and you think you're hiding yourself, but we know exactly who you are. So please no texting. If you need to use the restroom, they are down the hallway across the lobby from where you came in. Both men and women, just right there. If you have any fussy children that need to be taken downstairs, this applies to any large or small children or old or young children. Please take them out into the lobby until they have all fussed out so that we do not disturb the other patrons of watching the show. Please no flash photography. We have cast members that make many entrances and exits down and up all of the aisles and around behind our audience seating area. So please be careful of the aisles. If you are sitting, please make sure all of your belongings are under your seat and not encroaching upon the aisle. And if you need to leave for any reason, I would encourage you to do that while there's still some light. Not in a full blackout, because then actors cannot see you, and they're kind of like race cars as they zoom around, getting to all of their places. So to avoid collisions, I would encourage you to wait till there's some light, and definitely look both ways before crossing the aisle. Please take a look in your programs for advertisers and consider giving them their patronage. They have been very generous in supporting theater arts here at Calvary, and we would like to return the favor. We will be having a 20-minute intermission during which concessions will be served in the Langmaid room, which is just down the hallway where you entered, but before you get to the restrooms. You are welcome to take your program home with you, but if you would like to recycle it, please just go ahead and leave it on your seat, and we will collect it after the show. Or there are some boxes in the entryway from where you came in. You can just drop them in there. All right, this is a very good show, so we're not going to waste any more time with announcements. So let's begin in prayer, and we'll get straight to it. So let's pray. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this day and this evening that you have given to us to just come together to fellowship as audience and cast and crew and gather around a story that will help us come to a different understanding of our faith with you. Please be with the actors and the crew in mind and body, that they will have the focus and the strength and the agility to perform well and tell the story with excellence in your name. In your name, amen.
Your brother would not approve.
As I remember, Adam, it was upon this fashion bequeathed me by will but poor 1,000 crowns, and, as thou sayest, charged my brother on his blessing to give me good education. And there begins my sadness. My brother Jacques, he keeps at school, and report speaks goldenly of his favor. But for my part, he keeps me rustically at home, or, to speak more properly, stays me here at home unkept. For call you that a gentleman of my calling differs not from the stalling of an ox? His horses are bred better, for, despite that they are fair in their feeding, they are taught their manage, and to that end, riders dearly hired. But I, his brother, gain nothing under him but growth. for much as animals on his dunghills are as much bound to him as I. And besides this nothing that he so plentifully gives me, there's something that nature seems to give me, his countenance seems to take away from me. He lets me feed with his hinds, bars me from a place of a brother, and as much as in him lies, minds my gentility with my education. This is it, Adam, that grieves me, and the spirit of my father, which I believe is within me, begins to mutiny against his servitude, and I will no longer endure it, though yet I know no wise remedy how to avoid it.
Yonder comes my master, your brother.
Go apart, Adam, and thou shalt hear how he shall shake me up.
Now, sir, what make you here?
Nothing, sir. I'm not taught to make anything.
What are you then, sir?
Marry, sir. I'm helping you mar that which God made, a poor and worthy brother of yours with idleness.
Marry, sir, be better employed, and be not a while.
Would you have me keep your hogs and eat husks with them? What prodigal portion have I spent to come to such penury?
Know you where you are, sir?
Oh, sir, very well, here in your orchard.
Know you before whom, sir?
Better than him I am before knows me. I know you are my eldest brother, and in the gentle condition of blood you should know me. The courtesy of nations allows you my better, in that you are the firstborn. But the same tradition takes not away my blood. Were there 20 brothers betwixt us? I have as much of my father in me as you do, albeit, I confess, your coming before me is much nearer to his reverence.
What, boy?
Come, elder brother, you are too young in this.
Wilt thou lay hands on me, villain?
I am no villain. I am the youngest son of Sir Roland de Bois. He was my father, and he is thrice a villain that says such a father begot villains. Oh! Come here. Wert thou not my brother, I would not take thy hand from thy throat until the other had pulled out thy tongue for saying so. Thou hast railed on thyself.
Oh, my sweet masters! Please, for your father's remembrance, be at accord.
Let me go, I say.
I will not till I please, you shall hear me. My father charged me to get a good education, but you have trained me like a peasant, hiding me and screwing me from all gentlemanly-like qualities. The spirit of my father goes strong in me, and I will no longer endure it. Therefore, allow me such exercises as may become a gentleman, or give me the poor lot to be left to me by my father. With that, I will go buy my fortunes.
And what wilt thou do? Beg when that is spent? Well, sir, get you in. I will not long be troubled. You shall have some part of your will. I pray you leave me.
I will no further offend you than becomes my good.
Get you with him, you old dog.
Is old dog my reward? Most truly, I have lost my teeth in your service. God be with my old master. He would not have spoke such a word.
Is it even so? Begin you to grow upon me? I will physic your rankness and yet grant no 1,000 crowns, neither. Holla, Adam.
Calls your worship?
Was not Charles the Duchess Boxer here to speak with me?
So please you, he's here at the door and importunes access to you.
Let him in. It will be a good way. And tomorrow the Boxer is.
Good morrow to your worship.
Good Monsieur Charles. What new news is there at the new courts?
There's no news at the court, sir. But the old news. That is, the old duke is banished by his younger sister, the new duchess, and 3 or 4 loving lords have put themselves into voluntary exile with him, whose lands and revenues enrich the new duchess. Therefore, she gives them good leave to wander.
Do you know if Rosalind, the duke's daughter, be banished with her father?
Oh, no, sir. For the duchess's daughter, her cousin, so loves her. Being ever from their cradles bred together, she would have followed her in exile or else died to stay behind her. She is at the court, and no less beloved of her aunt than her own daughter, and never 2 ladies loved as they do.
Where will the old duke live?
They say he is already in the forest of Ardennes, and a many merry men with him. and there they live like the old Robin Hood of England. They say many young gentlemen flock to him every day, and fleet the time carelessly as they did in the Golden World.
What, you box tomorrow before the new Duchess?
Marry do I, sir. And I came to acquaint you with a matter. I am given, sir, secretly to understand that your younger brother Orlando hath a disposition to come in disguised against me to try a fall. Tomorrow, sir, I box for my credit, and he that escapes me without some broken limb shall acquit him well. Your brother is but young and tender, and for your love I would be loath to foil him, as I must, for my honor, if he should come in. Therefore, out of my love to you, I came hither to acquaint you with all, that you might either stay his intendment, or brook such disgrace well as he shall run into. And that is a thing of his own search, and altogether against my will.
Charles, I thank thee for thy love to me, which thou shalt find I will most kindly requite. I had learned of my brother's purpose herein, and have by underhanded means labored to dissuade him from it, but he is resolute. I tell thee, Charles, it is the stubbornest fellow of France, full of ambition, a secret and villainous contriver against me, his natural brother. Therefore, use thy discretion. I had as lief thou didst break his neck as his finger, and thou wert best to look to it. For if he should mightily disgrace himself, or if he should fail to mightily grace himself upon thee, he shall practice against thee in poison, or entrap thee in some villainous device, and never leave thy side until he hath ta'en thy life. I tell thee, Charles, there's not one so young and so villainous this day living.
I am heartily glad I came hither to thee. If he come tomorrow, I shall give him his payment. And so, God keep your worship.
Very well, good Charles. Now shall I stir this gamester? I hope I shall see an end of him. For my soul, yet I know not why, hates nothing more than he. And yet he is gentle, never schooled, and yet learned, so full of noble device, and in the heart of the world so much of my own people, that I am altogether misprized. But it shall not be long. This boxer shall clear all. Nothing remains but that I kindle the boy thither, which I shall go about to do.
I pray thee, Rosalind, my sweet cause, be merry.
Dear Celia, I show more mirth than I am mistress of, and would you yet I were merrier? Unless you can teach me how to forget a banished father, you must not learn me how to remember any extraordinary pleasure.
Herein I see thou lovest me not with the full weight that I love thee. If my uncle, thy banished father, had banished thy aunt, the Duchess, my mother, so as thou had been still with me, I could have taught my love to take thy father for mine. So wist thou, if the truth of thy love were so righteously tempered as mine is to thee.
Well, I will forget the condition of my estate to rejoice in yours.
You know, my mother hath no child but I, nor none is like to have. And truly, when she dies, thou shalt be her heir. For what she hath taken away from thy father perforce, I shall render thee again in affection. By mine honor I will. When I break that oath, let me turn monster. Therefore, my sweet Rose, my dear Rose, be merry.
From henceforth I will, cuz. And devise sports. Let me see. What think you of falling in love?
Mary, do to make sport withal, but love no man in good earnest, nor no further in sport, then with safety of pure blush thou mayst in honor come off again.
Well, what shall be our sport then?
Let us sit and mock the good housewife, Fortune, from her wheel, that her gifts may henceforth be bestowed equally.
I would we could do so, for her gifts are mightily misplaced, and the bountiful blind woman doth most mistakes in her gifts to women.
'Tis true, for though she makes fair, she scarce makes honest. And though she makes honest, she makes very ill-favoredly.
Nay, now thou must go from Fortune's office to Nature's. Fortune reigns in the gifts of the world, not in the lineaments of nature.
No? When nature hath made a fair creature, may she not by fortune fall into fire? Though nature hath given us wit to flout out fortune, hath not fortune sent in this fool to cut off the argument?
Indeed, there is fortune too hard for nature, when fortune makes nature's natural cut off of nature's wits.
Peradventure, it is not fortune's work neither, but nature's, who perceiveth our natural wits too dull to reason of such goddesses, and has sent this natural for our whetstone, for always dullness of the fool is the whetstone of the wits. How now, wit, whither wander you?
Mistress, you must come away to your mother.
Were you made the messenger?
No, by mine honor, but I was bid to come for you.
What learned you this oath, fool?
Of a certain knight who swore by his honor they were good pancakes, and swore by his honor the mustard was not. Now I'll stand to it. The pancakes were not, and the mustard was good, and yet was not the knight forsworn.
Ah, how prove you that in the great heap of your knowledge?
Stand you both forth now, stroke your chins, and swear by your beards I am a knave.
By our beards, if we had them, thou art.
By my knavery, if I had it, then I were. But if you swear by that that is not, you are not forsworn. No more was this knight swearing by his honor, for he never had any. Or if he had sworn it away long before he ever saw those pancakes or that mustard.
Prithee, who is that thou meanest?
One that old Frida, your mother, loves.
My mother's love is enough to honor him. Enough. Speak no more of her. You'll be whipped for taxation one of these days.
Ooh.
The more pity that fools may not speak wisely what wise men do foolishly.
By my troth thou sayest true, for since the little wit that fools have was silenced, the little foolery of a wise man makes a great show. Oh, here comes good Monsieur Lebeau,
With his mouth full of news.
that he will put on us as pigeons feed their young.
Then shall we be news crammed?
All the better, we shall be the more marketable. Bonjour, Monsieur Lebeau, what's the news?
Fair princess, you have lost much good sport.
Sport? Of what color?
Of what color, madame? How shall I answer?
As wit and fortune will.
Or as the destinies decree.
Well said. That was laid on with a trowel.
Nay, if I keep not my rank.
Thou losest thy old smell.
You amaze me, ladies. I would have told you of good boxing, which you have lost the sight of.
You tell us the manner of this boxing.
I will tell you the beginning, and if it please your ladyships, you may see the end, for the best is yet to do. For here, where you are, they are coming to perform it.
Ah, well, the beginning that is dead and buried.
There comes an old man and his 3 sons,
I could match its beginning with an old tale.
3 proper young men of excellent growth and presence.
With bills on their necks, be it known unto all men by these presents.
The eldest boxed with Charles, the Duchess's boxer, which in a moment threw him and broke 3 of his ribs, in which there's little hope of life left in him. And so he served the second, and so the third. Yonder they lie, the poor old man, their father, making such pitiful dole over them, that all the beholders did take his part with weeping.
Alas!
But what is the sport, monsieur, that the ladies have lost?
Why, this that I speak of.
Thus men may grow wiser every day. It is the first that ever I heard the breaking of ribs was sport for ladies.
For I promise thee.
But is there any else longs to see this broken music in his side? Is there yet another dotes upon rib breaking? Shall we see this boxing, cuz?
You must, if you stay here, for here is the appointed place for the boxing, and they are ready to perform it.
Oh, yonder, sure they are coming. Let us now stay and see it.
Come on, if the youth will not be entreated, his own peril on his forwardness. And there he is. Sure, you could
Is
take it.
yonder the man?
Even he, madame.
Alas, he is too young, yet he looks successfully.
How now, daughter and cousin? Are you kept hither to see the boxing?
Aye, my liege, so please you give us leave.
You will take little delight in it, I can tell you. There's such odds in the man. In pity of the Challenger's youth, I would fain dissuade him, but he will not be entreated. Speak to him, ladies. See if you can move him. Do so. I'll not be by.
Monsieur the Monsieur the Challenger, the princess is called for you.
I attend them with all duty and respect.
Young sir, have you challenged Charles the Boxer?
No, fair princess. He is the general challenger. I combat in as others do to try within the strength of my youth.
Young sir, your spirits are too bold for your years. You have seen cruel proof of this man's strength. If you saw yourself with your eyes or knew yourself with your judgment, the fear of your adventure would counsel you to a more equal enterprise. We pray you, for your own sake, to embrace your own safety and give over this attempt.
Do, young sir, your reputation will not therefore be misprized. We will make it our suit to the Duchess that the boxing might not go forward.
I beseech you, punish me not with your hard thoughts, wherein I confess me much guilty to deny so fair and excellent ladies anything. But let your fair eyes and gentle wishes go with me, wherein, if I be foiled, there's one shame that was never gracious, and if killed, one dead that was willing to be so. I shall do my friends no wrong, for I have none to lament me, the world no injury, for only in it I've made a place which may be better supplied when I've made it empty.
The little strength I have, I would it were with you.
And mine to eke out hers.
Fare you well. Pray heaven I be deceived in you.
Your heart's desires be with you.
Come! Where is this young gallant that is so desirous to lie with his mother earth?
Ready, sir, but his will have been it's a more modest working.
You shall try but one fall.
No, I warrant your grace. You shall not convince him of a second that have been so mightily persuaded of a first.
And you mean to mock me after? You should not have mocked me before, but come your ways.
Now, Hercules, be thy speed, young man.
I were invisible to catch the strong fellow by the leg.
Come on.
No more, no more.
Yes, I beseech your grace. And now you're well breathed.
How dost thou, Charles?
He cannot speak, my lady.
Yeah, woo! Yeah, come on, woo!
Bear him away. What is thy name, young man?
Orlando, my liege, the youngest son of Sir Roland de Bois.
I wouldst thou had been son to some man else. The world esteemed thy father as honorable, but I did find him still mine enemy. Thou shouldst have better pleased me with this deed hadst thou descended from another house. But fare thee well. Thou art a gallant youth. I wouldst thou hast told me of another father.
Were I my mother, cuz, would I do this?
I am more proud to be Sir Roland's son, his youngest son, and I would not change that calling to be adopted heir to Frida.
My father loved Sir Roland as his soul, and all the world was of my father's mind. Had I known this young man his son, I should have given him tears unto entreaties, ere thus he should have ventured.
Gentle cousin, let us go thank him and encourage him. My mother's rough and envious disposition sticks me at heart. Sir, you have well deserved. If you do keep your promises in love, but justly, as you have exceeded all promise, your mistress shall be happy.
Gentleman, wear this for me. One out of suits with fortune that could give more, but that our hand lacks means. Shall we go, cuz?
Aye. Fare ye well, fair gentlemen.
Can I not say thank you? My better parts are all thrown down, and that which stands here is but a quintain, a mere lifeless block.
He calls us back. My pride fell with my fortunes. I'll ask him what he will. Did you call, sir? Sir, you have boxed well, and have overthrown more than your enemies.
Will you go, cuz?
Have with you. Fare you well.
Okay.
What passion hangs these weights upon my tongue, that I cannot speak to her yet. She urged conference. Oh, poor Orlando, thou art overthrown, or Charles or something weaker masters thee. Ah.
Good sir.
Yes?
I do in friendship counsel you to leave this place, albeit if you deserved high commendation, true applause, and love, such is the Duchess's condition that she misconstrues all that you have done. The Duchess is volatile. What she is indeed better suits you to conceive of than I to speak of.
I thank you, sir. And pray, tell me this. Which of the two was daughter of the Duchess that was here at the boxing?
Neither her daughter, if we judge by manners. But yet, indeed, the lesser was her daughter. The other is daughter of the banished duke, here detained by her usurping aunt to keep her daughter company. Though, I can tell you this, that of late this duchess hath ta'en displeasure against her gentle niece, grounded upon no other argument, but that the people praise her for her virtues, and pity her for her father's sake. And on my life, her malice against this duchess will suddenly break forth. Sir, fare you well, hereafter in a world better than this. I shall desire more knowledge and love of you.
I rest much bound to thee. Fare you well. Thus must I from the smoke into the smother, from tyrant duchess to tyrant brother. But heavenly Rosalind,
Rosalind. Hello. I'm right here. Okay. My cousin, my Rosalind. Cupid, have mercy, not a word.
Not one to throw at a dog.
No, thy Words are too precious to be cast away upon curs. Throw some of them at me. Come, lay me with reasons.
Then there were two cousins laid up, when the other should be lame with reason, and the other mad without any.
But is all of this for your father?
No, some of it is for my child's father. Oh, how full of briars is this working day world!
They're but burrs, cousin, cast upon the holiday foolery. If we walk not in the trodden paths, our very petticoats will catch them.
Oh, I could shake them off my coats. These burrs are in my heart.
Hem them away.
I would try if I could cry hem and have him.
Oh, a good wish upon you. You will try in time in despite of a fall, but turning these jests out of service, let us talk in good earnest. Is it possible on such a sudden that you should fall into so strong a liking with Sir Roland's youngest son?
The Duke, my father, loved his father dearly.
Doth it therefore ensue that you should love him dearly? By that kind of chase I should hate him, for my mother hated his father dearly, yet I hate not Orlando.
No, Faith, hate him not, for my sake.
Why should I not? Doth he not deserve well?
Let me love him for that. And you do love him because I do. Look, here comes the Duchess.
Oh, with her eyes full of anger.
Mistress, dispatch you with your safest haste and get you from our courts. Pick that up.
Me, aunt.
You, cousin. Within these 10 months, if that thou beest found so near our public court as 20 miles, thou diest for it.
I do beseech your grace, let the knowledge of my fault bear with me. Never so much in a thought unborn did I offend your highness.
Thus do all traitors. If their purgation did consist in words, they are as innocent as grace itself. Let it suffice thee that I trust thee not.
Yet your mistrust cannot make me traitor. Tell me whereon the likelihood depends.
Thou art thy father's daughter. There's enough. Come.
So was I when your highness took his dukedom. So was I when your highness banished him. Treason is not inherited, my liege. Or if we did derive that from our friends, what's that to me? My father was no traitor.
Dear sovereign, hear me speak.
Aye, Celia, we stayed her for your sake, else had she with her father ranged along.
I did not then entreat to have her stay. It was your pleasure and your own remorse. I was too young at that time to value her, but now I know her, if she betrayed her. We are like Juno's swans. We go coupled and inseparable.
She's too subtle for thee. And her smoothness, her very patience, speak to the people and they pity her. Thou art a fool. She robs thee of thy name, and thou shall more bright and be more virtuous when she is gone. Then open not thy lips. Firm and irrevocable is my doom, which I have passed upon her. She's banished.
Pronounce that sentence in on me, my liege. I cannot live out of her company.
You are a fool. You, niece, provide yourself. If you outstay the time, then upon mine honor and the greatness of my word, you die.
My poor Rosalind, whither wilt thou go? Wilt thou change parents? I'll give thee mine, I charge thee. Be not more grieved than I am.
I have more cause.
Thou hast not, cousin. Thou hast not the Duchess, hath banished me, her daughter.
That she hath not.
No, hath not. Rosalind then lacks the love that teaches thee that thou and I am one. Shall we be sundered? Shall we part, sweet girl? No, let my mother seek another heir. Therefore, devise with me how we may fly, whither to go and what to bear with us. And do not seek to take this change upon you. Bear your griefs yourself and leave me out. Say what thou canst. I'll go with thee.
Why, whither shall we go?
To seek my uncle in the forest of Arden.
Alas, what danger it'll be for us, maids as we are, to travel forth so far. Beauty provoketh thieves sooner than gold.
I shall put myself in poor and mean attire, with a kind of umber smirch my face. And like to you, so shall we pass along and never stir assailants.
Were it better, because I am more than common tall, that I did suit all points like a man. A gallant curtle axe upon my thigh, a bow spear in hand, and in my heart lie there where hidden women's fear their will. We'll have we'll have a swashing and a martial outside, as many other mannish cowards have that do outface it with their semblances.
And what shall I call thee when thou art a man?
I'll have no worse name than Jove's own page. Therefore, look upon me as Ganymede. Huh? Yeah. Oh, but what will you be called?
Oh, something that hath reference to my state. No longer Celia, but Aliena. Aliena, yeah, that works.
Oh, but cousin, what if we essay to steal the clownish fool outside your mother's court? Would he not be a comfort to our travel?
Oh, he'll go o'er the wide world with me. Leave me alone to woo him. Let's away, get our jewels and our wealth together, devise the fittest time and safest way to hide us from pursuit that will be made after my flight. Now, go we in content to liberty, and not to banishment.
Maybe it's a new beginning. Maybe it's the start of where it ends. I know. It comes down to all or nothing. This time it's for real, we can't pretend. You know. They're closing in, and I don't wanna miss a shot. Adrenaline, so give it everything that you got. Don't stop. In your eyes, I see a fire lighting up as we're getting away. There's no going back, and I'm loving the chase. Where you go, I follow. We're not giving up, never hitting the brakes. There's no going back, and I'm loving the chase. We're not giving up, never hitting the brakes. There's no going back, and I'm loving the chase. I can hear my every heartbeat. I can feel the breath.
Now, my co-mates and brothers in exile, hath not old custom made this life more sweet than that of painted pomp? Are not these woods more free from peril than the envious court? Here feel we but the penalty of Adam. The season's difference, an icy fang. And churlish chiding of winter's wind. Even when it bites and blows upon my body, even till I shrink with cold, I smile and say, this is no flattery. These are counselors, which feelingly persuade me what I am. Sweet are the uses of adversity, which, like the toad, ugly and venomous, wears yet a precious jewel in its head. Checkmate.
This is checkers.
Then king me. And this, our life exempt from public haunt, finds tongues in trees, books in running brooks, sermons in stones, and good in everything. I would not change it.
Happy is your grace that can translate the stubbornness of fortune into so quiet and so sweet a style.
Come, shall we go kill us a venison?
Yeah. Stop it.
And still, it irks me, the poor dappled fools. Being native denizens of this desert city should, in their own confines with Fortes, have their round haunches gored.
Indeed, my lord. The melancholy Jacques, grieves at that. And in that kind swears you do more usurp than doth your sister that hath banished you. Today, my lord of Vamians and myself did steal behind as she lay along under an oak, whose antique root peeps out upon the brook that brawls along this wood. To the which place a poor sequestered stag, who from the hunter's aim had ta'en a hurt, did come to languish. And indeed, my lord, the wretched animal he forced such groans that their discharge did stretch his leather coat almost to the bursting, and the big round tears coursed one another down his innocent nose in piteous chase. Plop, plop. And thus the hairy fool, much marked in the melancholy Jacques, stood along the extremest verge of the swift brook, augmenting it with tears.
But what said Jacques? Did she not moralize this spectacle?
Oh, yes. Into 1,000 similes. Bernina, come here. Yeah, okay, on the rock. Where Kenneth? Come on. Right there. Yeah. First, for a weeping into the needless stream. Poor dear, quoth she, thou makest a testament as worldlings do, giving thy sum more to that which had too much. Then, being there alone, left and abandoned of his velvet friends. 'Tis right, quoth she, thus misery doth part the flux of company. Anon, a careless herd, bull of the pasture, jumps along by her and never stays to greet her. Okay, do this? Yes. Aye, quoth Jacques, sweep on, you fat and greasy citizens, 'tis just the fashion. Wherefore do you look upon this poor and broken bankrupt here? Ah. And thus, most invectively, she pierceth through the body of the country, city, court, and yea, this our lives, swearing that we are mere usurpers, tyrants, and what's worse, to fright the animals and kill them up, and their assigned and native dwelling places. Whew.
And did you leave her in this contemplation?
Aye, we did, my lord, weeping and commenting upon the southern deer.
Show me the place. I love to cope her in these sullen fits, but then she's so full of matter.
I'll bring it to her straight.
It be possible that no man has seen them. It cannot be. Some villains of my court are in consent and sufferance in this.
I cannot hear of any that did see her. Her ladies, the attendants of her chamber, saw her abed, and in the morning early found the bed untreasured of their mistress.
My lady, the Roynish clown at whom so oft your grace was wont to laugh is also missing. Hesperia, the princess's gentlewoman, confesses that she secretly overheard your daughter and her cousin much commend the parts and graces of the boxer that did but lately foil the sinewy Charles.
Send to his brother, fetch that gallant hither. If he be absent, bring his brother to me. I shall make him talk. Do this suddenly, and let not search nor inquisition quail to bring again these foolish runaways. Go!
Oh, who's there?
Oh, my young master. Why, what make you here? Why would you be so fond to overcome the bonny prizer of the volatile duchess? Your praises come home too swiftly before you. Know you not, to some men their graces serve them but as enemies? No more do yours. Your virtues, gentle master, are sanctified and holy traitors to you. Oh, what a world this is, when what is comely envenoms him that bears it.
Why? What's the matter?
Oh, unhappy youth, your brother, no brother, yet the son, yet not the son of him I was about to call the father, hath heard your praises, and this night he means to burn the lodging in which you used to lie your head, and you within it. And if he fail at that, he will have some other means to cut you off. This is no place. This house is but a butchery. Abhor, fear it. Do not enter it.
Why, whither, Adam? Wouldst thou have me go?
No matter whither, so you come not here.
And wouldst thou have me go and beg my food? Or with a base and boisterous sword enforce a thievish living on the common road? This I must do, or know not what to do. Yet this I will not do how I can. I will rather subject me to the malice of a diverted blood and bloody brother.
But do not so. I have 500 crowns, the thrifty hire I did save on your father, which I stored to be my foster nurse when service should in my old limbs lie lame and unregarded age in corners thrown. Take that, and he that doth the ravens feed, yea, providently caters for the sparrow. Be comfort to my age. Here is the gold, and all this I give to you. Let me be your servant. Though I am old, yet I am strong and lusty. I'll do all the service of a younger man and all your businesses and necessities.
Oh, good old man. The constant service of the ancient world where service sweat for duty and not for meed. Oh. Thou art not for the fashion of these times where service sweat but for promotion, and in having that do choke their service up. But even with the having, it is not so with thee. But come your ways. we'll go together, and ere we'll have our youthful wages spent, we'll light upon some settled low content.
Go on, sweet master, and I will follow thee to the last gasp with truth and loyalty. From 17 years till now almost 80 here lived I, but now live here no more. At 17 years, many their fortune seek, but at 80 it is too late a week. Yet, fortune cannot recompense me better than to die well and not my master's debtor.
Oh, Jupiter, how weary are my spirits.
I care not for spirits if my legs were not weary.
I could find it in my heart to disgrace my man's apparel and cry like a woman. But I must comfort the weaker vessel, as doublet and hose ought to show itself courageous under petticoat. Therefore, courage, good Aliena.
I pray you bear with me. I cannot go no further.
For my part, I had rather bear with you than bear you. Though if I did bear you, I should bear no cross, for I think you have no money in your purse.
Well, this is the forest of Arden.
Aye, now am I in Arden. When I was at home, I was in a better place, but travelers must be content.
Aye, be so good, Touchstone. Uh-huh. Look at who comes here. A young man and an old in solemn talk.
That is the way to make her scorn you still.
Oh, Corin, if thou knew how I do love her.
I partly guess, for I have loved ere now, dummy.
No, Corin, being old, thou canst not know. Though in thy youth thou wast as true a lover as ever sighed upon a midnight pillow. But if thy love were ever like to mine, as sure I think did man never love so, then how many actions most ridiculous hast thou been drawn to by thy fantasy?
Into 1,000 that I have forgotten.
Then thou didst ne'er love so heartily. If thou can't remember the slightest folly the love hast drawn thee to, thou hast not loved. Or if thou hast not broke from company abruptly, as my love now makes me do, thou hast not loved. Oh, Phoebe, Phoebe, Phoebe!
Alas, poor shepherd, searching for thy wound I have by hard adventure found mine own.
And I mine. I remember when I was in love. I broke my sword upon a stone, and bid him take that for coming a night to Jane's smile. I remember the kissing of her batlet in the cow's dugs that her pretty chopped hands had milked, and the wooing of a peace god instead of her, from to whom I took 2 cods, and, giving them to her again, said, "Bear these for my sake." We that are true lovers run into strange capers, but as all is mortal in nature, so all nature in love is mortal in folly.
Thou speakest wiser than thou art ware of.
Nay, I shall ne'er beware of my own wit till I break my shins against it.
Jove, this shepherd's passion is much upon my fashion.
And mine, but it grows something stale with me.
I pray you, one of you, question yon man if he for gold will give us any food. I faint almost to death.
Holla, you clown.
Peace, fool, he is not thy kinsman.
Who calls?
Your betters, sir.
Else are they very wretched.
Peace, I say. Good even to you, friend.
And to you, good sir, and to you all.
I pray thee, if that love or gold can in this desert place buy entertainment, bring us to a place where we may rest ourselves and feed. Here is a young maid who travels much oppressed and faints of succour.
Fair sir, I pity her. And wish for her sake more than mine own that my fortunes were more able to relieve her. But I am shepherd to another man and do not shear the fleeces that are grazed. My master is of churlish disposition and little recks to find the way to heaven by doing deeds of hospitality. Besides, his flocks, his caught and bounds of feed are on sale now. And right now at our sheep cot, by reason of his absence, there is nothing on which you will feed. But what there is, come see, and by my voice, most welcome shall you be.
What is he that shall buy this flock and pasture?
That young swain you saw here erewhile, that little cares for buying anything.
I pray thee, if it stand with honesty, buy you the cottage, the pasture, and the flock, and you shall have to pay for it of us.
And I'll mend thy wages. I like this place and willingly could waste my time in it.
Assuredly, the thing is to be sold. Go with me. If you lack upon report, the soil, the profit, and this kind of life, your very faithful feeder will be, and will buy it with your gold, right suddenly. Come on, come on.
Oh, Touchstone, wait. Okay.
Our pianist. I thought he was going to be here by this time, you know? It's okay. We're going to do Under the Greenwood Tree when he comes to switch him out. Under the greenwood tree, who loves to lie with me, so gorgeous. I loved it.
More, I prithee more.
It'll make you melancholy, Mademoiselle Jacques. So, we're
I
not
thank
gonna-
it. More, I prithee more. I can suck melancholy from a song as a weasel sucks eggs. More, I prithee more.
My voice is ragged. I know I cannot please you.
I do not desire you to please me. I desire you to sing. Come, another stanzo. Call you them stanzos?
What you will, Mademoiselle Jacques.
Nay, I care not for their names. They owe me nothing. Will you sing?
More at your request than to please myself. So.
Then if ever I thank any man, I'll thank you. But that they call compliment is like the encounter of two dog apes. Whenever a man thanks me heartily, methinks I've given him a penny, and he renders me beggarly thanks. Come, sing, and you that will not, hold your tongues.
Well, then I'll end the song. Sirs, cover the while. The Duke will drink under his tree. He has been all this day to look you.
And I have been all this day to avoid him. He's too disputable for my company. I think of as many matters as he, but I give heaven thanks and make no boast of them. Come, warble, come.
Second verse. Okay. Doth ambition shine all together here, who loves to live with the sun, seeking the food he eats, and pleased with what he gets. Come hither, come hither, come hither. Ooh. Here shall he see no enemy but winter and rough weather. Here shall he see no enemy but winter and rough weather. Is that good? We're good.
Excellent, excellent. I'll give you a verse to this note that I made yesterday in spite of my invention.
And I'll sing it.
Thus it goes.
Oh, okay. Can we try a key change? I mean, better, okay. Are you sure this?
Key change up.
Yeah. Are you even modulating?
Where'd you find this guy?
I don't know. He was late too. Oh, there it is, finally. If it do come to pass that any man turn ass, leaving his wealth and ease, a stubborn will to please, duck-dummy, duck-dummy, duck-dummy. Here shall he see, grows fools is he, and if he will come to me, here shall he see, grows fools is he, and if he will come to me, under the greenwood tree. Under the greenwood tree. Under the greenwood
Yeah. That was good. That was good. Thank you.
What's the dukkadama?
Duckdame is a Greek invocation to call fools into a circle. I'll go sleep if I can. If I cannot, I'll rail against all the firstborn of Egypt.
And I'll go seek the Duke. His banquet's prepared.
Dear master, I can go no further. Oh, I
Adam.
die for food.
Oh, Adam.
Here I lie down and measure out my grave. Farewell, kind master.
Oh, Adam, no greater heart than thee? Live a little, comfort a little, cheer thyself a little. If this uncouth forest yield anything savage, I will either be food for it, or bring it as food to thee. Thy conceit is nearer death than thy powers, but for my sake, be comfortable. Hold death a while at arm's end. I will here be with thee quickly. And if I bring thee not something to eat, then I will give thee leave to die. But if thou diest before I return, then thou art a mocker of my labor. Oh, well said, well said. Thou lookest cheerily, yet thou liest in bleakest wind. I will bear thee to some shelter, and thou shalt not die for lack of a dinner, if there live anything in this desert. Cheerily, good Adam. Be gone with you.
She be transformed to a beast, for I can find her nowhere like a human.
My lord, she's but now gone hence. Here was she merry, hearing of a song.
If she, compact of jars, grow musical, we will shortly have discord in the spheres. Go, seek her. Tell her I would speak with her.
She saves my labor by her own approach.
Why, how now, mademoiselle? What a life is this that your poor friends must woo your company? What? You look merrily.
A fool, a fool. I met a fool in the forest, a motley fool. Ugh, miserable world. As I do live by food, I met a fool who laid him down and basked him in the sun, and railed on Lady Fortune in good terms. In good set terms, and yet a motley fool. Good morrow, fool, quoth I. No, sir, quoth he. Call me not fool, till heaven have sent me fortune. Then he drew a dial from his poke, and looking on it with a lackluster eye, says very wisely, It is 10 o'clock. Thus we may see, quoth he, how the world wags. 'Tis but an hour ago since it was 9, and after 1 hour more 'twill be 11. And so from hour to hour we ripe and ripe, and then from hour to hour we rot and rot, and thereby hangs the tale. When I did hear the motley fool thus moral on the time, my lungs began to crow like a chanticleer, that fools should be so deep contemplative. And I did laugh sans intermission, an hour by his dial. Ugh, noble fool, a worthy fool. Motley's the only wear.
What fool is this?
A worthy fool, one that hath been a courtier, and says, If ladies be but young and fair, they have the gift to know it. And in his brain, which is dry as the remainder biscuit after a voyage, he hath strange places crammed with observation, which he vents in mangled forms. Ugh, that I were a fool. I'm ambitious for a motley coat.
Thou shalt have one.
It is my only suit, provided that you weed your better judgment of all opinion that grows rank in them that I am wise. I must have liberty withal, as large as it charters the wind, to blow on whom I please, for so fools have, and they that are most galled with my folly, they most must laugh. Thank you, thank you. And wiser must they so. The why is plain his way to parish church. He that a fool doth very wisely hit, doth very foolishly, although he's smart, not to seem senseless of the bob. If not, the wise man's folly is anatomized, in the squandering glances of the fool. Invest me in my motley. Give me leave to speak my mind, and I will through and through cleanse the foul body of the infected world, if it will patiently receive my medicine.
Fie on thee, I know what thou wouldst do.
What, for a counter, would I do but good?
For thou thyself hast been a libertine?
Why, who cries out on sin and pride that can therein chide any private party? Doth it not flow as hugely as the sea, till that the very weary means do ebb? What woman in the city do I name when I say, the city woman bears the cost of princes on unworthy shoulders? Who can come in and say that I mean her, when such a one as she, such as her neighbor? Or, what is he of basest function that says, his bravery is not of my cost, thinking that I mean him, but therein suits his folly to the metal of my speech? There then, how then, what then? Let me see wherein my tongue hath wronged him. If it do him right, he hath wronged himself. If he be free, why, then my taxing like a wild goose flies, unclaimed of any man. Who comes here?
Forbear and eat no more,
But I have eaten none yet.
nor shall not to necessity be served.
Of what kind should this cock come of?
Sir, art thou thus emboldened by thy distress? Or a mere despiser of good manners that in civility thou seemest so empty?
You touched my vein at first. The thorny point of bare distress hath ta'en from me the show of smooth civility. Yet I am in them bred, and know some nurture. But forbear, I say, he died to touch a day in this food, till I and my affairs are answered.
And you will not be answered with reason? I must die.
What would you have? Your gentleness shall force more than your force move us to gentleness.
I must die for food, and let me have it.
Come and feed and sit at our table.
Speak you so gently? Oh, pardon me, I pray you. I thought all things had been savage here. Therefore, put I in the countenance of stern commandment that whatever in this desert inaccessible, if ever been where bells had knolled to church, if ever from eyelids wiped a tear, and know what 'tis to pity and be pitied, let gentleness my strong enforcement be, in which hope I blush and hide my sword.
True is it that we have seen better days, and have with holy bell been knolled to church, and sat at good men's feast, and wiped our eyes of tears that sacred pity hath engendered. Therefore, sit you down in gentleness. Take upon command what help we have, that to your wanting may be ministered.
Then forbear your food a while longer, whilst, like a doe, I go to seek my fawn and feed it. There is an old man who hath after me many a weary step, limped in pure love, till he be first sufficed. Oppressed with two weak evils, age and hunger, I will not touch a bit.
Go, seek him, and we'll waste nothing till your return.
I thank ye, and be blessed for your good comfort.
Thou seest we are not all alone, unhappy. This wide and universal theater presents more woeful pageants than the scene wherein we play in.
Oh, all the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and entrances, and one man in his time plays many parts, his acts being 7 ages. At first the infant, mewling and puking in the nurse's arms, and then the whining schoolboy with his satchel and shining morning face, creeping like snail unwillingly to school. And then the lover, sighing like furnace, with woeful ballad made to his mistress's eyebrow. And then the soldier, full of strange oaths and bearded like the pard, jealous in honor, sudden and quick and choral, seeking the bubble reputation even in the cannon's mouth. And then the justice, and fair round belly with good cape and lined, full of wise saws and modern instances, and so he plays his part. The 6th stage shifts to the lean and slippered pantaloon, with spectacles on nose and pouch on side, his youthful hose, well saved, a world too wide for his shrunk shank. His big manly voice, turning again towards childish treble, pipes and whistles in his sound. Last scene of all, that ends this strange eventful history, is second childishness and mere oblivion. Sans teeth, sans eyes, sans taste, sans everything.
Welcome, and set down your venerable burden and let him feed.
I thank you most for him.
Sir, I had you need. I scarce could speak to thank him myself.
Welcome and fall too. I will not question you as yet about your fortunes. Give us some music. And good cousin, sing.
Yes.
Oh, yes. I love awesome. So excited. Let's try the new one. Blow, blow. Yep. And then. Oh, yeah. Blow, blow, thou winter wind. Thou art not so unkind as man's ingratitude. Thy tooth is not so keen, because thou art not seeing. Although thy breath be rude, hi ho, sing, hi ho. Most friendship is feigning, most loving mere folly. Unto the green holly, the green holly. Then hi ho, the holly. This life is most jolly. And freeze, freeze the bitter sky that does not bite so nigh as friendship. Remember not thou, though the waters warm, thy sting is not so sharp as friendship. Remember not, then hi ho, sing hi ho, sing ho. Blow, blow, thou winter wind. Thou art not so unkind as man's ingratitude. Thy tooth is not so keen, because thou art not seeing. Although thy breath be rude. I don't know, I saw it on TV once. Is that the best you got? Ooh, I like it. Wait, you gotta show me that move. I like it a lot. Wait, Jacques, we're having so much fun. Wait.
Irish people. So dramatic.
If thou art the son of Roland de Bois, as thou whispered that you were, be truly welcome here. I am the Duke who loved your father. The residue of your fortune, go to my cave and tell me. Good old man, thou art right welcome as thy master is. Support him by the arm. Give me your hand, and let me all your fortunes understand.
not be. But were I not the better part made mercy, I should not seek an absent argument of my revenge thou present. But look to it. Find out thy brother. Seek him with candle. Bring him within this 12 months to our courts, or turn thou no more to seek a living in our territory. Thy lands and all that thou callest thine, were seizure do we seize into our hands, till by thy brother's mouth thou canst quit us of what we think against thee.
Your Highness knew my heart in this. I have never loved my brother in my life.
More villain thou. But, push him out of doors. And let my officers of such a nature make an extent on his house and lands. Do this expediently and turn him going.
Oh, my dear. Hang there my verse and witness of my love. Oh, Rosalind, these trees shall be my books, and in their barks my thoughts all character, that whatever in this forest looks shall see thy virtues witnessed everywhere. Run, run, Orlando, carve on every tree, the fair, the chaste, the unexpressive she.
I like you this shepherd's life, Master Touchstone.
Truly, shepherd, in respect of itself, it is a good life. But in respect it is a shepherd's life, it is not. As it is in the fields, it pleaseth me well. But as it is not in court, it is tedious. As it is a spare life, look you, it fits my humor well. But as there is no more plenty in it, it goes much against my stomach. Hast any philosophy in thee, shepherd?
No more that I know that the more one sickens, the worse at ease he is. That the property of rain is to wet and fire to burn. That good grass makes for fat sheep. That a great cause of the night is lack of the sun. Oh, and that he that hath not learned wit by nature nor art may complain of good breeding, or else comes of a very dull kindred.
Such a one is a natural philosopher. Wast ever at court, shepherd?
No, truly.
Then thou art damned.
Nay, I hope.
Truly thou art damned like an ill-roasted egg, all on one side.
For not being at the court? Your reason?
Why, if thou never wast at court, thou never sawest good manners. And if thou never sawest good manners, thy manners must be wicked. And wickedness is sin, and sin is damnation. Thou art in a parlous state, shepherd.
Not a whit, Touchstone. Those that are good manners at the court are most ridiculous in the country, as the behavior of the country is most mockable at the court.
Instance.
You told me that you salute not at the court, but you kiss the hands. That courtesy would be uncleanly if courtiers were shepherds. Yeah.
Instance, briefly, come instance.
Why, we are still handling our ewes, and their fells are, greasy.
Well, do not your courtiers' hands sweat? And is not the grease of a mutton as wholesome as the sweat of a man? A better instance.
Besides, our hands are hard.
Your lips will feel them the sooner. Mend the instance, shepherd.
And they are often covered with the surgery of our sheep with tar. Would you have us kiss tar? The courtier's hands are perfumed with civet.
Most shallow man, learn of the wise and perpend. Civet is of a baser birth than tar, the very uncleanly flux of a cat. A better instance.
You have too courtly a wit for me. I'll rest.
Wilt thou rest, damned? God help thee, shallow man. God make incision in thee. Thou art raw.
Sir, I am a true laborer. I earn that I ate, get that I wear. Owe no man hate, envy no man's happiness, glad of other men's good, content with my harm. And the greatest of my pride is to watch my ewes eat and my lambs suck.
That is another simple sin in you.
Here comes Master Ganymede, my new mistress's brother.
From the east to western end, no jewel is like Rosalind. Her worth being mounted on the wind through all the world bears Rosalind. All the pictures fairest lined are but black to Rosalind. Let no fair be kept in mind but the fair of Rosaline.
I'll rhyme you so 8 years together, dinners and suppers and sleeping hours accepted. It is the right butter woman's rank to market.
Out, fool.
For a taste, if a hart do lack a hind, let him seek out Rosalind. If the cat will after kind, so be sure will Rosalind.
Touchstone!
Winter garments must be lined, so must slender Rosalind.
Hey!
Sweetest nut hath sourest rind, such a nut is Rosalind. This is the very false gallop of verses. Why do you infect yourself with them?
Peace, you dull fool. I found them on a tree.
Truly, the tree yields bad fruit.
I'll graph it with you, and then I shall graph it with a meddler, and it'll be the earliest fruit in the country, and you'll be rotten, or you should be half ripe, and that's the right virtue of the meddler.
So you have said, but whether wisely or no, let the forest judge.
Peace. Look you, here comes my sister reading. Stand aside.
Why should this a desert be? For it is unpeopled? No. Tongues I'll hang on every tree that shall civil saying show. Some have violated vows twixt the souls of friend and friend. But upon the fairest boughs, or at every sentence end, will I, Rosalinda, write, teaching all that read to know the quintessence of every sprite heaven would in little show. Therefore heaven nature charged that when body should be filled with all the graces wide and large, nature presently distilled. Thus Rosalind in many parts by heavenly synod was devised, on many faces, eyes, and hearts, to have the touches dearest prized. Heaven would that she these gifts should have, and I to live and die her slave.
Oh, most gentle pulpiter, what tedious homily of love have you wearied your parishioners withal, and never cried, have patience, good people.
How now? Back, friends. Shepherd, go off a little. Go with him, Sirrah.
Come, shepherd, let us make an honorable retreat, though not with bag and baggage, yet with scrip and scrippage.
Didst thou hear these verses?
Yes, I heard them all and some more, for some of them had in them more feet than the verses could bear.
'Tis no matter. The feet might bear these verses.
Aye, but the feet were lame and could not bear themselves without the verse, and therefore stood lamely in the verse.
But didst thou hear without wondering how thy name should be hanged and carved upon these trees?
I was 7 of the 9 days out of wonder before you came, for look here what I found upon the palm tree. I was never so berhymed since Pythagoras' time.
Trow you, who hath done this?
Is it a man?
And a chain that you once wore about his neck. Change you color.
I prithee, who?
Oh, Lord, it is a hard matter for friends to meet, and mountains may be removed with an earthquake and so encounter.
Nay, but who is it?
Is it possible?
Nay, I prithee with the most petitionary vehemence. Tell me who it is.
Oh, wonderful, and most wonderful, and yet again wonderful, and out of all hoping.
Good, my complexion. Dost thou think that I am comparison like a man that I have doublet and hose in my disposition? 1 inch of delay is a discovery. I prithee, tell me who it is quickly, and speak apace. I would thou couldst stand without thou may pour this concealed man out of thy mouth. As wine comes out of a narrow-mouthed bottle, either too much at once or none at all. I pray thee, take the cork out of thy mouth, that I might drink thy tidings.
He hath a little beard.
Why, God will send more if the man be thankful. Let me stay the growth of his beard, if thou delay me not the knowledge of his chin.
It is young Orlando that tripped up the boxer's heels in your heart, both in an instant.
Nay. But the devil take mocking. Speak now, sad brow and true maid.
I faith, cuz, 'tis he.
Orlando?
Orlando.
Oh, alas the day! What shall I do with my doublet and hose? What did he when thou sawest he? What said he? How looked he? Where and whence he? What makes him here? Did he ask for me?
No.
Wherein remains he? How parted he with thee? And when shall I see him again? Answer me in one word.
You must borrow me Gargantua's mouth first. 'Tis a word too great of any mouth of this age's size to say I know to these particulars is more than to answer in a catechism.
But doth he know that I am in this forest and in man's apparel? Oh, looks he as freshly as he did the day he boxed.
It is as easy to count atomies as to resolve the propositions of a lover. Take a taste of my finding him, and relish it with good observance. I found him under a tree like a dropped acorn.
It may as well be called Jove's tree when it jumps forth such fruit.
Give me audience, good madame.
Proceed.
There he lay, stretched along like a wounded knight.
It be pity to see such a sight, it well becomes the ground.
Cry hollow to thy tongue, I prithee, it curveth most unseasonably. He was furnished like a hunter.
Oh, ominous, he comes to kill my heart.
I would sing my song without a burden, thou bringest me out of tune.
Do you not know I am a woman? When I think, I must speak. Sweet, say on.
You bring me out. Soft, comes he not here?
'Tis he, slink by and note him.
I thank you for your company, but good faith, I had as lief been myself alone.
And so had I, but for fashion's sake, I thank you too for your society.
Gabaway, let's meet as little as we can.
I desire we be better strangers.
I pray you, mar no more trees by writing love songs on their bark.
And I pray you, mar no more my verses by reading them ill-favoredly.
Rosalind is your love's name?
Yes, just.
I do not like her name.
There was no thought of pleasing you when she was christened.
What stature is she of?
Just as high as my heart.
Ugh. You're full of pretty answers. Have you not been acquainted with goldsmiths' wives and conned them out of rings?
No, but I answer you right, painted cloth. From whence have you started your questions?
You have a nimble wit. Will you sit down with me, and we two will rail against our mistress the world and all our misery?
I will try no breather but myself, against whom I know most faults.
Ugh. The worst fault you have is to be in love.
'Tis of faults I would not change for your best virtue.
By my troth, I was seeking for a fool, and I found you.
Oh, he is drowned in the brook. Look but in, and you shall see him.
Yeah, therein I shall see mine own figure.
Which I think to be either a fool or a cipher.
I'll tarry no longer. Farewell, good Signor Love.
I am glad of your departure. Adieu, Mademoiselle Melancholy.
I will speak to him like a saucy lackey, and under that habit play the knave with him. Do you hear, Forrester?
Very well. What would you?
I pray thee, what is it o'clock?
You should ask what time of day it is. There's no clock in the forest.
Then there is no true lover in the forest, else sighing every minute and groaning every hour would detect the lazy foot of time as well as the clock.
And why not the swift foot of time? Had that not been as proper?
By no means, sir. Time travels in diverse paces with diverse persons. I'll tell you who time trots withal, who time gallops withal, and who he stands withal.
I prithee, who doth time trot withal?
Mary, time trots hard with a young maid between the contract of her marriage and the day it is solemnized. If the interim be but a sennight, time paces so hard that it feels the length of 7 years.
Who doth time gallop withal?
With a thief to the gallows, for though he go as softly as foot can follow, he finds himself too soon there.
Who stays as still withal?
With lawyers in the vacations, for they sleep between term and term, and perceive not how time moves.
Where dwell you, pretty youth?
With the shepherdess, my sister, here in the skirts of the forest, like fringe upon a petticoat.
Are you native of this place?
As the coney that you see dwell where she is kindled.
Your accent is something finer that could be purchased and so removed a dwelling.
I have been told so of many, for indeed an old religious uncle of mine taught me how to speak, for in his youth was an inlandman, one who knew courtship too well, for there he fell in love. I have heard him read many lectures against it, and I thank God I am not a woman, to be touched with so many giddy offenses that he hath generally taxed the whole sex withal.
Can you remember any of these principal evils he laid to the charge of women?
There were none principal. They were all like one another, as halfpence are, every fault seeming more monstrous till his fellow fault could match it.
I prithee, do you remember any of these? Please recount some of them.
Nay, I will not cast away my physic, but on those that are sick. There is a young man haunts his forest, abuses our young plains, carving Rosalind in their barks, hangs odes upon hawthorns and elegies on brambles, all forsooth deifying the name Rosalind. If I could meet that fancy monger, I would give him some good counsel, for he seems to have the quotidian of love about him.
I am he that is so love shakes. I pray you, tell me your remedy.
There are none of my uncle's marks about you. He taught me how to know a man is in love, in which cage of rushes I'm sure you are not prisoner.
What were his marks?
A lean cheek, a blue eye and sunken, an unquestionable spirit, a beard neglected, which you have not, but I pardon you for that. For simply in your having a beard is a younger brother's revenue. Then your hose should be ungartered, your sleeve unbuttoned, and your shoe untied, and everything about you demonstrating a careless desolation.
What's so funny?
But you are no such man.
Fair youth. I could make thee believe I love.
Me believe it. You may seem as make her that you love believe it, which I warrant she is apter to do than to confess she does. That is one of the points in which women still give lies to their consciences. But in good sooth, are you he that hangs the verses on the trees, in which Rosalind is so admired?
I swear to thee, youth, by the pure hand of Rosalind, I am that he, that unfortunate he.
But are you so much in love as your rhymes speak?
Neither rhyme nor reason can express how much.
Love is merely a madness, and I tell you, deserves as well as dark house and a whip as madmen do. Yet I profess curing it by counsel.
Did you ever cure any so?
Yes, one, and in this manner. He was to imagine me his love, his mistress, and I set him out every day to come and woo me, in which, me being but a moonish youth, would grieve, be effeminate, changeable, longing and liking, proud, fantastical, inconstant, shallow, full of tears, full of smiles, would now like him, now loathe him, then entertain him, then forswear him, that I drove my suitor from his mad humor of love to live in a nook merely monastic, and thus I cured him. In this way, I will do the same thing to you as I will wash your liver clean as a sound sheep's heart, that there will not be one spot of love in it.
I would not be cured, youth.
I would cure you if you would but call me Rosalind and come every day to my court and woo me.
Now, by the faith of my love, I will. Tell me where it is.
Go with me to it and I'll show it you. And by the way, you will show me where in the forest you live. Will you go?
With all my heart, good youth.
Nay, you must call me Rosalind. Come, sister, will you go?
She was in love with a boy, in love with a girl, so in love with the world, so beautiful. She was in love with the night, the way the sun shines.
Please enjoy your 20-minute intermission.
And nobody could make her feel down. She was always smiling from ear to ear, and everybody wondered around. Will she ever know the feeling of tears? All she said to them was live your life just like you're young again. No, don't you cry, just get back up again. 'Cause if you want a life to live again. No, don't you cry. Just get back up again. 'Cause if you wanna laugh, then live it better. If you want love, then stay together. If you wanna smile, then be forever. She was the curious kind. To hate, she was blind. Always love on her mind. Just come with me.
Come apace, good Audrey. I will fetch up your goats, Audrey. And how, Audrey? Am I the man yet? Doth my simple feature content you?
Your features? Lord warrant us. What features?
I am here with thee and thy goats, as the most capricious poet, honest Ovid, was among the Goths.
Knowledge ill inhabited. Worse than Jove in a thatched house.
When a man's verse cannot be understood, nor man's good wit seconded with the forward child understanding, it strikes a man more dead than a great reckoning in a little room. Truly, I would the gods had made thee poetical.
I do not know what poetical is. Is it honest indeed in word? Is it a true thing?
No, truly, for the truest poetry is the most feigning, and lovers are given to poetry, and what they swear in poetry may be said as lovers they do feign.
A material fool.
But be it as it may be, I will marry thee, and to that end I have been with Sir Oliver Martex, the vicar of the next village, who has promised to meet me here in this place of the forest and to couple us.
I would fain see this meeting.
Well, the gods give us joy!
Amen. A man may, if he were a fearful heart, stagger in this attempt. For here we have no temple but the wood, no assembly but horned beasts. But what though? Courage. As horns are odious, they are necessary. Is the single man therefore blessed? No. As a walled town is more worthy than a village, so the forehead of a married man is more honorable than the bare brow of a bachelor. Here comes Sir Oliver. Sir Oliver Martex, you are well met. Will you marry us here under this tree, or will we go with you to your chapel?
Is there no one here to give the woman?
I will not take her on gift of any man.
Truly she must be given, or the marriage is not lawful.
Proceed. I'll give her.
Good even, good master, what you call it. You are very well met. God ild you for your last company. I am very happy to see you here, sir.
Will you be married, Motley?
As the ox hath its bow, the horse its curb, and the falcon her bells, so man hath his desires. And as pigeons bill, so wedlock would be nibbling.
And will you, being a man of your breeding, be married under a bush like a beggar? Get you to church and have a good priest who can tell you what marriage is. This fellow will but join you as they join wainscot, and then one of you will prove a shrunk panel, and like green timber, warp. Go thou with me, and let me counsel thee.
Come, Audrey, we will be married. Farewell, good master Oliver, not, oh sweet Oliver, oh brave Oliver, leave me not behind thee, but wind away. Begone, I say, I will not to wedding with thee.
Tis no matter. Nor a fantastical knave of them all shall flout me out of my calling.
Never talk to me, I will weep.
Two, I prithee. Yet have the grace to consider that tears do not become a man.
But have I not cause to weep?
As good cause as one would desire, therefore weep.
Oh, his hair is of the dissembling color.
Oh, something browner than Judas's. Mary, his kisses are Judas's own children.
If Faith, his hair is of a good color.
An excellent color. Chestnut was ever the only color.
And his kissing is as full of sanctity as the touch of holy bread.
He has bought a pair of calf slips of Diana, a nun of Winter's sisterhood, not more religiously.
No. Why did he swear he would come this morning and comes not?
Nay, certainly there is no truth in him.
Do you think so?
Yes. For his verity in love, I do think him as concave as a covered goblet or worm-eaten net.
Not true in love.
Yes, when he is in, but I think he is not in.
But you heard him swear downright he was.
Was is not is. Besides, the oath of a lover is no stronger than the word of a tapster. They are both the confirmers of false reckonings.
Oh.
He attends here in the forest on the Duke of your father.
Oh. I met with the Duke yesterday and had much question with him. He asked me of what parentage I was, and I told him of as good as he. So he laughed and let me go. But what talk we of fathers when there is such a man as Orlando?
Oh, that's a brave man. He writes brave verses, swears brave oaths, and breaks them bravely.
Oh.
Who comes here?
Mistress and master, you have oft inquired after the shepherd that complained of love, who you saw sitting by me on the turf, praising the proud, disdainful shepherdess that was his mistress.
Aye, what of him?
If you would see a pageant truly played between the pale complexion of true love and the red glow of scorn and proud disdain, go hence a little, and I shall conduct you, if you will mark it.
Oh, come, let us remove the sight of lovers speedeth those in love. Bring me to the sight, and you shall say, I'll play a busy actor in their play.
Oh, dear Phoebe, do not scorn me, Phoebe, do not. Say that you love me not, but say not so in bitterness. The common executioner, whose heart the accustomed sight of death makes hard, falls not the axe upon the humble neck, but first begs pardon. Will you sterner be than he that dies and lives by bloody drops?
I would not be thy executioner. I would fly thee, for I would not injure thee. Thou sayest there is murder in mine eyes. 'Tis pretty sure, and very probable, the eyes which are the softest and frailest of things, who shut their coward gates on enemies, should be called tyrants, butchers, murderers. Now I frown on thee with all my heart. Lie not to say mine eyes are murderers. Now show the wound my eye hath made in thee. Scratch thee but with a pin, and there remains some scar of it, being but upon a rush. But now mine eyes, which I have darted at thee, hurt thee not, nor I am sure there is any force in eyes that can do hurt.
Oh, sweet Phoebe, if ever, as that ever may be near, you meet in some fresh cheek the power of fancy, then will you know the wounds invisible that love's keen arrows make.
But till that time come not thou near me, and when that time comes, afflict me with thy marks, pity me not, as till that time I shall not pity thee.
And why, I pray you? Who might be your mother, that you insult, exult all at once over the wretched? What, that you have no beauty, must you therefore be so proud and pitiless? What means this? Why do you look? Oh. I think she means to entangle my eyes too. No, Faith, proud mistress, hope not after it. 'Tis not your inky brows, your Your black silk hair, your bugle eyeballs, nor your cheek of cream that can tame my spirits to your worship. You foolish shepherd, wherefore do you follow her? You are 1,000 times a proper man than she, a woman.
No.
'Tis such fools as you that make the world full of ill-favored children. 'Tis not her glass, but you that flatters her. But, mistress, know yourself. Down on your knees. And thank heaven, fasting, for a good man's love. For I must tell you friendly in your ear. Sell when you can. You are not for all markets. Cry the man mercy. Love him. Take his offer. So take her to the shepherd, fare you well.
Sweet youth, I pray you, chide a year together. I'd rather hear you chide than this man woo.
He's fallen in love with your foulness, and she'll fall in love with my anger. If it be so, as fast as she answers me with frowning looks, I'll sauce her up with bitter words. Why you look so upon me?
For no ill will, I beg.
No, I pray you do not fall in love with me, for I am falser than vows made in wine. Will you go, sister? Shepherd, ply her hard. Come, sister. Shepherdess, look better on him and be not proud, though all the world could see no one is so abused in the sight as he.
Dead shepherd, now I find thy saw of might. Whoever loved that loved not at first sight.
Sweet Phoebe.
What sayest thou, Silvius?
Sweet Phoebe. Pity me.
Why, I am sorry for thee, gentle Silvius.
Wherever sorrow is, relief would be. If you do sorrow at my grief and love, then by giving love, your sorrow and my grief were both extermined.
Thou hast my love. Is not that neighborly?
And I would have you.
Why, that were covetousness. Silvius, the time was that I hated thee. And yet it is not that I bear thee love. But since that thou canst talk of love so well, thy company, which erst was irksome to me, I will endure. And I'll employ thee too. But do not look for further recompense than thine own gladness that thou art employed.
So holy and so perfect is my love, that I would think it a most plenteous crop to glean the broken ears after the man of the main harvest reaps. Loose now, and a scattered smile, and that I'll live upon.
Knowest thou the youth that spoke to me erewhile?
Not well, though I have met him oft, and he hath bought the cottage in the bounds that the old Carlet once was master of.
Think not I love him, though I ask for him. 'Tis but a peevish boy. Yet he talks well. But what care I for words? Yet words do well when he who speaks them pleases those that hear. It is a pretty youth. Not very pretty. He'll make a proper man. The best thing in him is his complexion. And faster than his tongue did make offences, I did heal it up. There was a pretty redness in his lip, a little riper and more lusty than that mixed in his cheek. 'Twas just the difference between the constant red and mingled damask. There be some women, Silvius, had they marked him in parcels as I did, would have gone near to fall in love with him. But for my part, I love him not, nor hate him not. And yet I have more cause to hate him than to love him. For what did he to do to chide at me? He said mine eyes were black, and my hair black, and now I am remembered scorned at me. I marvel why I answer not again. But that's all one. Emittance is no quittance. I shall write him a very taunting letter, and I shall bear it. Won't thou, Silvius?
Oh, Phoebe, with all my heart.
I'll write it straight. Matters in my head and in my heart. I will be bitter with him in passing short. Go with me, Silvius.
I prithee, pretty youth, let me be better acquainted with thee.
They say you were a melancholy fellow.
I am so. I do love it better than laughing.
Those are Those that are in extremity of both are abominable fellows, and betray themselves to every modern censure worse than drunkards.
Why, 'tis good to be sad and say nothing.
Why then 'tis good to be a post.
I have neither the scholar's melancholy, which is emulation, nor the musician's, which is fantastical, nor the lady's, which is nice, nor the lover's, which is all of these, but it is,
Hey!
a melancholy of mine own, compounded of many simples, extracted from many objects. Indeed, the sundry compilation of my many travels, in which my oft rumination wraps me in a most humorous sadness.
A traveler. By my faith, you have great reason to be sad. I fear you have sold your own land to see other men's, and to see everything and to have nothing is to have rich eyes and poor hands.
I've gained my experience.
And your experience makes you sad. I'd rather have a fool make me merry than to have experience make me sad, and to travel for it too.
Good day and happiness, dear Rosalind.
Nay then, grabbed away ye, and you talk in blank verse.
Farewell, mademoiselle traveler. Why, how now, Orlando? Where have you been all this while? You, a lover? And you serve me such another trick. Never come in my sight more.
But my dear Rosalind, I come within an hour of my promise.
Break an hour's promise in love. He that will divide a minute into 1,000 parts, and but break that part of 1,000 in a minute in the affairs of love, it may as well be said that Cupid hath clapped him o'er the shoulder. But I'll warrant him heart's whole.
Pardon me, dear Rosalind.
Nay, and you be so tardy too. Come no more in my sight. I had as lief be wooed of a snail.
Of a snail?
Aye, of a snail. For though he go slowly, he carries his house on his head. A better jointure, I think, you make than a woman, and I am your Rosalind.
It pleases him to call you so, but he hath a Rosalind of a better earlier than you.
Come, woo me. Woo me. For now I am in a holiday humor and like enough to consent. What would you say, and I were your very, very Rosalind?
I would kiss before I spoke.
Nay, you were better to speak first. And when you were growled for lack of matter, you might take occasion to kiss. Very good orators, when they are out, they will spit. And for lovers lacking, God warn us matter, the cleanliest shift is to kiss.
How if the kiss be denied?
Then she puts you to entreaty, and there begins new matter.
But who could be out, being before his beloved mistress?
Marry, that should I. If I were your mistress, I should think my honesty ranker than my wit.
What, on my suit?
Not out of your apparel, and yet out of your suit. Am I not your Rosalind?
I take some joy to say that you are, because I'd be talking of her.
Well, in her person, I say, I will not have you.
Then in my own person, I die.
No. Faith, die by attorney. The poor world is almost 6,000 years old, and in all this time there has never been any man in his own person died vitilicet in a love cause. Troilus had his brains dashed out by a Grecian club, yet he did what he could to die before, and he is one of the patterns of love. Leander, he would have lived many a fair year had Hero had turned none, if it had not been for a hot midsummer night, for there he went but forth to wash himself in the Hellespont, and being taken with a cramp, drowned. And the foolish coroners of that age named it was Hero of Sestos. But these are all lies. Men have died from time to time, and worms have eaten them, but not for love.
I will not have my right Rosalind of this mind, for I protest, her frown might kill me.
By this hand, it will not kill a fly. But come, now I will be your Rosalind in a more coming on disposition. Ask me what you will, I shall grant it.
Then love me, Rosalind.
Yes, faith I will.
Fridays and Saturdays and all.
And wilt thou have me?
I and 20 such.
What sayest thou?
Are you not good?
I hope so.
Why then, can one desire too much of a good thing?
Come, sister, you shall be the priest to marry us. Give me your hand, Orlando. What do you say, sister?
I pray thee, marry us.
I cannot say the words.
You must begin. Will you, Orlando?
Two. Will you, Orlando, have to wipe this? Rosalind.
I will.
Aye, but when?
How now? As soon as she can marry us.
Now you must say, I do take thee, Rosalind, for wife.
I do take thee, Rosalind, for wife.
I might take some commission to say this, but I do take thee, Orlando, for husband. Now, tell me how long you would have her after you have possessed her.
Forever and a day.
Say, a day without the ever. No, Orlando. Men are April when they woo, December when they wed. Maids are May when they are maids, but the sky changes when they are wives. I will be more jealous of thee than a Barbary cock pigeon against his hen, more clamorous than a parrot against rain. I will be more newfangled than an ape, more giddy in my offenses than a monkey. I will weep like Diana in the fountain, and I will do that when thou art disposed to be merry. And I will laugh like a hyena, and that when thou art inclined to sleep.
But will my Rosalind do so?
By my life, she will do as I do.
Oh, but she is wise.
Or else she cannot have the wit to do this. The wise are the waywarder. Make the doors upon a woman's wit, and it will out at the casement. Shut that, and it will fly out the keyhole. Stop that, and it will fly out into the smoke with the chimney.
For these 2 hours, Rosalind, I will leave thee.
Alas, dear love, I cannot lack thee 2 hours.
I must attend the Duke at dinner. After these by 2 o'clock, I'll be with thee again.
Aye. Go your ways, go your ways. I knew you would approve. My friends told me as much, and I thought nothing of it. That flattering tongue of yours won me. 'Tis but to cast away, and so come death. 2 o'clock is your hour.
Aye, sweet Rosalind.
By my troth and in good earnest. And so God mend me, and by all pretty oaths that are not dangerous, if you break but one jot of your promise, and come 1 minute behind the hour, I will think you the most pathetical break promise, and the most hollow lover, and the most unworthy of her you call Rosalind, that you may be picked out of the gross band of the unfaithful. Therefore beware my censure, and keep your promise.
With no less religion, if thou wert indeed my Rosalind, so adieu.
Well, time is the old justice that examines all such offenses, and let time try. Adieu.
You have simply misused our sex for your love prate. We must have your doublet and hose plucked over your head and show the world what the bird hath done to her own nest.
Oh, cuss, my pretty little cuss. Thou didst not know how many fathoms deep I am in love. But it cannot be sounded. My affection has an unknown bottom like the Bay of Portugal.
Or rather bottomless, that as fast as you pour affection in, it runs out. Whoosh.
No, that son of Venus that was begot of thought, conceived of spleen and born of madness, that blind rascally fellow that abuses everyone's eyes because his own are out. Let him be the judge of how deep I am in love. I tell thee, Eliana, I cannot be out of the sight of Orlando. I will go find a shade and sigh till he come.
And I'll sleep.
Everybody, welcome to our corner of the park, and thank you for supporting your local street artist. Can we give it up for some street art? Thank you, thank you. Today we're going to be doing some speed painting. Alrighty, yep, we're getting a good start here. My name is my good friend Jackson Pollock, spin instructor. Mike. Yeah, today we're doing some speed painting. It's going to be really fun. I may not know, but you were pretty right. It is a little bit sketchy. Because artwork, yeah. All right. Why did the street artist know that she was going to get in trouble? Because the writing was on the wall. The graffiti, you know. You saw it earlier. I don't know where it went. Oh, arguments, yes. When one artist said to the other artist, "Don't take that tone with me," when they fought. And then, but it's okay when artists fight. Don't worry, because they always know where to draw the line. I got one. Oh, we're done. All right. Now, it wouldn't be a proper shot. Ooh, thank you. Wow. Come up front. Ooh. People love the arts. Oh, thank you. Wow. Oh, more. Thank you, everybody, for supporting the arts.
How say you now? Is it not past 2 o'clock? And here much Orlando.
I warrant you with pure love and troubled brain, he obtained his bow and arrow and got forth to sleep. Look who comes here.
My errand is to you, fair youth. My gentle Phoebe bid me give you this. I know not the contents, but as I guess by the stern brow and waspish action in which she was writing of it, it bears an angry tenor. Pardon me, I am but a guiltless messenger.
Patience herself would startle at this letter and play the swaggerer. Bear this, bear all. She says I am not fair, that I lack manners. She calls me proud and that she could not love me, whereas man as rare as phoenix. Odds my will, her love is not the hare that I do hunt. Why writes she so to me? Well, shepherd, well, this is a letter of your own device.
No, I protest. I know not the contents. Phoebe did write it.
Oh, come, you are a fool, and turn into the extremity of love. I saw her hand. She had a leathern hand, a freestone-colored hand. I barely did think that her gloves were on, but 'twas her hands. She has a housewife's hand. But it's no matter. I say she never did write this letter. This is a man's invention, and his hand.
Sure, it is hers.
What is a boisterous and cruel style? A style for challengers. Why, she defies me. Woman's gentle brain could not write such giant rude invention. Will you hear this letter?
So please you, for I have scarce heard it yet, although heard too much of Phoebe's cruelty.
She Phoebe's me! Mark how the tyrant writes. Art thou a god to shepherd turned, that a maiden's heart hath burned? Can a woman rail thus?
Call you this railing?
Why thy godhead laid apart, warst thou with a woman's heart? Did you ever hear such railing? While the eye of man did woo me, that could do no vengeance to me, meaning me, a beast. If the scorn of your bright eye have power to raise such love in mine, alack in me, what strange effect would work in mild aspect? Whiles you chid me, I did love. How then might your prayers move? What? He that brings this love to thee, little knows this love in me. And by him seal up thy mind, whether that thy youth and kind will this faithful offer take of me and all that I can make, or else by him my love deny, and then I'll study how to die.
Call you this chiding?
Poor shepherd.
Do you pity him? No, he deserves no pity. without love such a woman? What, to be an instrument and play false strains upon thee? Not to be endured. Well, go your ways to her, for I see that love hath made thee a tame snake. And say this to her, if she love me, I charge her to love thee. If she will not, I will never have her unless thou entreat to her. If you be a true lover, and from hence, and not a word. For here comes new company.
Good morrow, fair ones. Pray you, if you know where in the purliest of this forest stands a sheepcote fenced about by olive trees?
West of this place, down in the neighbor bottom, but at this hour the house doth keep itself is done within.
If an eye may profit by a tongue, then I should know you by description. Such garments and such years. The boy is fair, of female favor, and bestows himself like a ripe sister. The woman, low and brown, paler than the brother. Are you not the owners of the house I did inquire for?
It is no both being asked to say that we are.
Orlando doth commend himself to you both. And to the youth that he calls his Rosalind, he sends this bloody napkin. Are you he?
I am? What must we understand by this?
Some of my shame, if you will know of me, what man I was, and how and why and where this handkerchief was stained.
Oh, I pray you tell it.
When last the young Orlando parted from you, he left a promise to return again within an hour. And as he paced through the forest, chewing the food of sweet and bitter fancy, lo it befell. He cast his eye aside and marked what object did present itself. Under an oak whose boughs were mossed with age, high-top bald with dry antiquity, a wretched, ragged man lay sleeping, hair o'ergrown. About his neck, a green and gilded serpent had wreathed itself, with their heads in nimble threats approaching the opening of the man's mouth. But seeing Orlando, it unlinked itself, and with indented gilded glides made its way onto a bush. Under which bush's shade, a lioness, with udders all drawn dry, lay crouching, head on ground, with cat-like prowess, that when the sleeping man should stir, for 'tis the royal nature of such a beast to prey on nothing which doth seem as dead, this seen, Orlando did approach the man, and found it was his brother, his elder brother.
Oh, I did hear him speak of the same brother. He did render him the most unnatural that lived amongst men.
And he might well so do, for well I know he was unnatural.
But to Orlando, did he leave him there, food to the sucked and hungry lioness?
Twice he turned his back and purposed so. But kindness, ever stronger than revenge, and nature, nobler than his just occasion, did made him give battle to the lioness, which quickly fell before him, in which, hurling from miserable slumber, I awoke.
Are you his brother?
Was you he rescued?
Was you that did so oft contrive to kill him?
'Twas I, but 'tis not I. I do not shame to tell you that I was, since my conversion so sweetly tastes, being the thing I am.
But for the bloody napkin.
By and by, when from the first to the last betwixt us two, tears our countenance kindly bathed as to how I came to that desert place. In brief, he led me to the gentle Duke, who outfitted me with fresh array and entertainment, entrusting me unto my brother's love. He led me instantly into his cave, there stripped himself, and here upon his arm the lioness had torn some flesh away, which all this while had bled. He fainted, and in fainting cried upon his Rosalind. Brief, I recovered him, bound up his wound, and being strong at heart, he sent me hither, stranger as I am, to tell this tale, and to give this napkin dyed in his blood to the shepherd youth that doth in sport call his Rosalind.
Wait, how no? Ganymede, sweet Ganymede.
Then he will swoon when they do look on blood.
Oh, there's more in it. Cousin Ganymede.
Look, he recovers.
Oh, I would I were at home.
We'll bring you thither. I pray you take him by the arm.
Be of good cheer, youth. You a man, you lack a man's heart.
I do. I confess it, Sirrah. A body would think this was well counterfeited. Do tell your brother how well I counterfeited. Hi-ho! Oh.
This was not counterfeit. There's too great a testimony in your complexion that it was a passion of Ernst.
Counterfeit, I assure you.
Well then, take heart and counterfeit to be a man.
So I do, but in faith I should have been a woman by right.
Come, you look paler and paler. Pray you draw homewards. Good sir, go with us.
That will I. For I must bear answer back how you excuse my brother, Rosalind.
I shall devise something. But I pray you, commend my counterfeiting to your brother. Will you go?
Audrey. We'll find a time, Audrey. Patience, gentle Audrey.
Faith the priest was good enough for all the old gentleman's saying.
A most wicked Sir Oliver, Audrey. A most vile Martext. But, Audrey, there's a youth here in the forest lays claim to you.
I know who 'tis. He hath no interest in me in the world. Here comes the man you mean.
It is meat and drink to me to see a clown. By my troth, we that have good wits have much to answer for. We shall be flouting, we cannot hold.
Good evening, Audrey.
Good evening, William.
Good evening to you too, sir.
Good evening, gentle friend. Cover thy head, nay, prithee be covered. What is thy age, friend?
25, sir.
A right page. Was born in the forest here.
Aye, sir, I thank God.
Thank God, a good answer. Art rich?
Faith, sir, so-so.
So-so is good, very excellent good. And yet, it is not. It is but so-so. Art wise?
Aye, sir, I have a pretty wit.
Why, thou sayest well. I do now remember a saying, the fool doth think he is wise, but the wise man knows himself to be a fool. You do love this maid?
I do, sir.
Give me your hand. Art thou learned?
No, sir.
Then learn this of me. To have is to have, for it is a figure in rhetoric that drink being poured from a cup into a glass by filling the one doth empty the other. For all your writers do consent that Ipsy is he. Now, you are not Ipsy, for I am he.
Which he, sir?
He, sir, that must marry this woman. Therefore, you clown, abandon, which is in the vulgar league, the society which in the boorish is company of this female, which in the common is woman, which together is, abandon the society of this female, or clown, thou perishest, or to thy better understanding, diest. Or to wit, I kill thee, make thee away, translate thy life into death. I will deal in poison with thee, or in bastinado, or in steel. I will kill thee 150 ways, therefore tremble and depart.
Audrey?
Huh? Do, good William.
I would best be married, sir.
Our master and mistress seeks you. Come, away, away.
Trip, Audrey, trip. I attend.
Touchstone.
Is it possible that on so little acquaintance you should like her? And that but seeing her you should love her? And loving wooing she should grant? And will you persever to enjoy her?
Neither call the giddiness of it in question, the poverty of her, the little acquaintance, my sudden wooing, nor her son consenting, but say with me that I love Aliena. Say with her that she loves me. Consent that we may enjoy each other. It shall be to your good. For all that was my father's and all of Sir Roland's estate, I will give unto you, and here live and die a shepherd.
You have my consent. Let the wedding be tomorrow, and thither will I invite the Duke and all his attendant followers. Go you and prepare Aliena. For look you here comes my Rosalind.
God save you, brother.
And you, fair sister.
My dear Orlando, how it grieves me to see thee wear thy heart in a scarf.
It is my arm.
I thought thy heart would have been wounded with the claws of a lion.
Wounded it is, but with the eyes of a lady.
Did your brother tell you about how well I counterfeited when he showed me your handkerchief?
Aye, and greater wonders than that.
I know where you are. Nay, 'tis true. There was never such a sudden sight as the fight of two rams and Caesar's fanatical brag of I came, I saw, I overcame. For your brother and my sister no sooner met, but they looked, no sooner looked, but they loved, no sooner loved, but they sighed, no sooner sighed, but asked each other the reason, no sooner sought the reason, but found the remedy. And in these degrees they will make a pair of stairs unto marriage, in which they will climb incontinent, or else be incontinent before marriage. They are in the very fountain of love, and they will be together. Clubs cannot part them.
Their wedding shall be tomorrow. Thither will I invite the Duke to be the nuptial, but oh, how bitter a thing it is to look into happiness through another man's eyes. And all the much the more tomorrow shall I be at the height of heart heaviness, but by how much I shall be happy for my brother and having what he wishes for.
Why then, tomorrow, can I not serve your turn for Rosalind?
I can live no longer by thinking.
I will weary you no longer with idle talk. Know of me then, for I speak to some purpose, for I know you are a gentleman of good conceit. I speak not to say you may bear a good opinion of my knowledge, and so much I say, I know you are. Neither do I labor in a greater esteem than may in some little measure draw a belief from you to do yourself good and not to grace me. Believe then, if you please, that I can do strange things. I have, since I was 3 years old, conversed with a magician, most profound in his art, and yet not damnable. If you do love Rosalind to the heart, as your gesture cries out, when your brother marry Aliena, shall you marry her? I know what streets of fortune she has driven, and it is not impossible for me, if it appear inconvenient to you, to set her before your eyes as human as she is, and without any danger tomorrow.
Speakest thou in sober meanings?
By my life, I do, which I tender dearly, although I say I am a magician. Therefore, put on your best array, bid your friends, for if you will be married tomorrow, you shall, and to Rosalind if you will. Oh, here comes a lover of mine and a lover of hers. Hide! Hide! Go!
Youth. Youth. Youth.
Oh!
You have done me much ungentleness to show the letter I writ to you.
I care not if I have. It is my study to seem despiteful and ungentle towards you. You are followed by a most faithful shepherd. Look upon him. Love him. He worships you.
Good shepherd, tell this youth what 'tis to love.
It is to be all made of sighs and tears. And so am I for Phoebe.
And I for Ganymede.
And I for Rosalind.
And I for no woman.
It is to be all made of faith and service. And so am I for Phoebe.
And I for Ganymede.
And I for Rosalind.
And I for no woman.
It is to be all made of fantasy, all made of dreams, and all made of wishes, all adoration, duty, and observance, all humbleness, all patience and impatience, all trial, all purity. And so am I for Phoebe.
And so am I for Ganymede.
And so am I for Rosalind.
And so am I for no woman.
If this be so, Why blame you me to love you?
If this be so, why blame you me to love you?
If this be so, why blame you me to love you?
Who do you speak to? Why you blame me to love you?
To her that is not here, nor doth not hear.
Pray you, enough of this. 'Tis like the howling of Irish wolves against the moon. I will help you if I can. I would love you if I ever loved woman. Tomorrow meet me all together. I would marry you if I ever married woman, and you will be married tomorrow. I will satisfy you if I ever satisfied man, and you will be married tomorrow. I will content you if what pleases you contents you, and you will be married tomorrow. As you love Rosalind, meet. As you love Phoebe, meet. And as I love no woman, meet. So fare you well. I have left you your commands.
I'll not fail if I live.
Nor I.
Nor I.
Is it just me staring in the mirror on the wall? All I can see is nothing more of nothing at all. Behind that grinning face, you know what I've discovered. Avoid an empty space.
Tomorrow is the joyful day, Audrey. Tomorrow we will be married. Audrey?
Oh, and I do desire it with all my heart. Here comes
Ah, well met, honest gentlemen.
By my troth, well met. Come, sit, and a song.
Okay. Well, shall I clap it into it roundly without hawking or spitting or say I am hoarse, which is the only course to a bad voice.
Yes, do it. Just do it.
Okay. Hit it. Have a seat. It was a lover and his lass that o'er the green cornfield did pass. In springtime, the only pretty ring time, when birds do sing. Hey, ding, ding, ding. Sweet lovers love the spring. Between the acres of the rye, and ho, these pretty country folks will lie in the hay, now they know. In springtime, the only pretty ring time, when birds do sing. Hey, ding, 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 hey, ding, ding, ding. Sweet lovers love the spring. This carol they began that hour
with the hay and the hoe.
How life was but a flower and a hay, now to know. In springtime, the only pretty ring time, when birds do sing. Ding, ding, ding. Hey, ding, ding, ding. Sweet lovers love the spring. All right, I come for you. Therefore, take the present time, for love is crowned in the prime. In springtime, the only pretty ring time, when birds do sing. Hey, ding, ding, ding. Sweet lovers love the spring. Hey, ding, ding, ding. Sweet lovers love the spring.
Boo! 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 young gentleman, though there was no great matter in the ditty, yet the note was very untunable.
You are mistaken, sir. I kept my time, I lost not my time.
But by my troth, yes, I count it but time lost to hear such a foolish song. God buy you and God mend your voice. Come, Audrey.
Dost thou believe, Orlando, that the boy can do all this that he hath promised?
Sometimes do believe and sometimes do not. As those that fear, they fear and know they fear.
Patience once more while our contract is urged. You say, O Duke, that if I bring your daughter, you will bestow her unto Orlando here.
That I would, had I kingdoms to give with her.
You say you'll have her if I bring her.
That would I, if I were of kingdom's king.
You say you'll marry me if I be willing.
That will I, should I die the hour after.
But if you refuse me, you will give yourself to this most faithful shepherd.
So is the bargain.
You say, O Silvius, that you will marry her if she will.
Though to have her in death, we're both the same thing.
Oh, no. I have made all these matters even. Keep your word, O Duke, that you will give your daughter. You, yours, Orlando, that you will receive his daughter. Keep your word, Phoebe, that you will marry me, or else refusing me, you will marry yourself to this shepherd. Keep your word, Silvius, that you'll marry her if she refuses me. And from hence I go, to make all these doubts even.
I do remember in this shepherd boy some lively touches of my daughter's favor.
My lord, the first time I saw him, methought he was a brother of your daughter.
They're short of the flood, Todd, and the couples are coming to the ark. Here come a pair of very strange beasts, which in all tongues are called fools.
Salutation and greetings to you all.
Good my lord, good and welcome. This is that motley-minded gentleman I have met so often in the forest. He hath been a courtier, he swears.
If any man doubt that, let him put me to my purgation. I have trod a measure. I have flattered a lady. I have been politic with my friend, smooth with mine enemy. I have undone 4 tailors. I have had 4 quarrels and like to have fought one.
But how was that chain up?
Faith, we met and found the matter was upon the 7th cause.
How 7th cause? Could my lord like this fellow?
I like him very well.
God hild you, sir. I desire you of the like. I press in here, sir, amongst the rest of the country copulatives, to swear and to forswear, according as marriage binds and blood breaks. A poor virgin, sir, an ill-favored thing, but mine own. A poor humor of mine, sir, to take that which no man else will. Rich honesty dwells like a miser, as your pearl in your foul oyster.
By my faith, he's very swift and sententious.
According to the fool's bolt, sir, and such dulcet diseases.
Is this not a rare fellow, my lord? He's as good at anything and yet a fool.
He uses his folly like a stalking horse, and beneath the presentation of that, he shoots his wit.
How clever.
Why are we laying around? Get up! Who's having a wedding or what? Then is there mirth in heaven when earthly things make even atone together? Good Duke, receive thy daughter. Hymen from heaven brought her, yea, brought her hither, that thou mightst join her hand with his, whose heart within his bosom is.
To you, I give myself, for I am yours. To you, I give myself, for I am yours.
If there be truth in sight, you are my daughter.
If there be truth in sight, you are my Rosalind.
If sight and shape be true, I then my love adieu.
I'll have no father if you be not he. I'll have no husband if you be not he. Nor I ever marry woman if you be not she.
Peace. Oh, I bar confusion. 'Tis I must give conclusion to these most strange events. Here's 8 that must take hands to join in Hymen's bands if truth holds true content. You and you, no cross shall part. You and you are heart in heart. You to his love must accord, or have a woman to your lord. You and you are true together, as the winter to foul weather. Whiles a wedlock hymn we sing, feed yourselves with questioning, that reason, wonder may diminish. Thus how we met, and these things finish. Oh. Niece, welcome thou art to me, even daughter, in no less degree.
New family photo.
Photo time.
Oh, it's lovely.
I will not eat
hath
my
turned
word,
out well.
now that thou art mine. Thy faith my fancy to thee doth combine.
Listen. Let me have audience for a word or two. Duchess Frida, hearing how that every day men of great worth resorted to this forest, addressed a mighty power which were on foot in her own conduct, purposely to take her brother here and put him to the sword.
Oh no.
And to the skirts of this wild wood she came, where, meeting with an old religious man, after some questions with him, was converted, both from her enterprise and from the world, her crown bequeathing to her banished brother, and all their lands restored again to them that were with him exiled.
Thou offers truly to these brothers' wedding. Meanwhile, forget this new-fallen dignity, and fall into our rustic revelry. And you, brides and bridegrooms all, with measure heaped in joy, to the measures fall.
In the measures you lie, so to your pleasures. I am for other than dancing measures.
Proceed, proceed, and we'll begin these rites, as we do trust they'll end in true delights.
It is not the fashion to see the lady the epilogue, but it is no more unhandsome to see the lord the prologue. If it be true that good wine needs no bush, then 'tis true that a good play needs no epilogue. Yet to good wine they do use good bushes, and good plays for the better by the help of good epilogues. What a case am I in then, that am neither a good epilogue nor can insinuate with you in the behalf of a good play. I am not furnished like a beggar, therefore to beg will not become me. My way is to conjure you, and I'll begin with the women. I charge you, O women, for the love you bear to men, to like as much as the play may please you. And I charge you, O men, for the love you bear to women, as I perceive by your simpering none of you hates them. Between you and the woman the play may please. If I were a woman, I would kiss as many of you that had beards that pleased me, complexions that liked me, and sweet breaths that I defied not. And I am sure that as many of you that have good beards and good faces and sweet breaths will, for my kind offer, when I make curtsy, bid me farewell.